Breaking news alert at Spectrum TV network. Pope Francis calls for a fair wage for migrant workers. Pope Francis calls for a Pope Francis on Thursday made a plea for migrant workers to be paid fairly, as he visited the affluent city-state of Singapore on the last stop of his Marathon Asia-Pacific tour. The 87-year-old Pope said, special attention should be paid to protecting the dignity of migrant workers, in an address to local authorities, civil groups. These workers contribute a great deal to society and should be guaranteed a fair wage, he said. There are an estimated 170 million migrant workers around the world, about 5% of the global workforce, according to the International Labour Organization. Most live in Europe, Central Asia and the Americas. But cheap labor has been instrumental in the rapid development of gleaming metropolises such as Dubai, Doha and Singapore. About 300,000 low-wage migrant workers are estimated to toil in Singapore. Advocates say they lack adequate protection against exploitation and sometimes endure poor living conditions, something the government denies. The issue shot to the fore during the COVID pandemic when tens of thousands of migrant workers were forcibly locked down in dormitories. Many migrants in Singapore come from South Asia and from the Philippines, which has a large and notably devout Catholic majority. The Pope did not make any specific reference to workers in Singapore, but his comments are likely to make the government uneasy. The Argentine pontiff was otherwise glowing about his hosts, praising the entrepreneurial spirit, human ingenuity and dynamism that built a massive ultra-modern skyscrapers that seem to rise from the sea. Singapore is a mosaic of ethnicities, cultures and religions living together in harmony, he said, painting the population of almost 6 million as a shining light for the world. I encourage you to continue to work in favor of the unity and fraternity of humanity and the common good of all peoples and all nations, he said. By Jeremiah Uroweano, former lawmaker representing Wari Federal Constituency, Mr. Daniel Rayaniju, has called for the restructuring of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPCL, saying it has to start prioritizing transparency, efficiency, and accountability. Rayaniju said NNPCL was capable of driving national growth, stressing that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's courageous initiative to reshape Nigeria's future was commendable. Why restructuring NNPCL is critical to national growth, Rayaniju. Why restructuring NNPCL is critical to national growth, Rayaniju. By Jeremiah Uroweano, former lawmaker representing Wari Federal Constituency, Mr. Daniel Rayaniju, has called for the restructuring of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPCL, saying it has to start prioritizing transparency, efficiency, and accountability. Rayaniju said NNPCL was capable of driving national growth, stressing that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's courageous initiative to reshape Nigeria's future was commendable. There are still Nigerians with integrity, Femi, who returned N21 meters worth of crypto coins to owner 0.19/1.07. Keep watching, Rayaniju stated. This is a pivotal moment for our nation, blessed with abundant oil and gas resources, and we must seize the opportunity to unlock our vast potential in other numerous natural resources. The challenges we face are significant, but they are not insurmountable. We must take decisive and courageous action and demonstrate visionary leadership. Allowing entrenched personal interests to perpetuate the status quo will only hinder future leaders who will inherit a more complex landscape. It is imperative that we unite in support of President Tinubu's efforts to implement comprehensive restructuring and deep reforms in the NNPCL that prioritizes transparency, efficiency, and accountability. President Tinubu has taken commendable and bold steps that many others before him have hesitated to pursue. However, this is merely the beginning. We must demand more from our leadership and advocate for a thorough and deep restructuring of the NNPCL, transforming it into a model of excellence that can drive national growth and prosperity. Let us not be paralyzed by fear or complacency. Nigeria has the potential to emerge as a global powerhouse, but this vision can only be realized through collective efforts and a steadfast commitment to reform. I call upon all stakeholders, government officials, industry leaders, and citizens, to unite in support of a transformative agenda that prioritizes the well-being of our nation. Together, we can forge a path toward a brighter and more prosperous Nigeria for generations to come. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump return to the campaign trail Thursday, with the Democrat hoping her dominant display in their first presidential debate will boost her chances in the knife-edge U.S. election. The rivals are heading to crucial battleground states that will decide November's vote, 2 days after Harris forced Republican Trump onto the defensive in a fiery clash that drew 67 million viewers across the United States. But it remains unclear whether the vice president's punchy performance will turn the dial with less than 2 months to go in an agonizingly tight race that will be decided by a handful of undecided voters across the country. Harris, 59, will seek to capitalize on her debate momentum as she heads to North Carolina on Thursday, holding back-to-back rallies in the cities of Charlotte and Greensboro, promising a new way forward. Harris has erased a 6-point Trump lead over the last month to draw level in North Carolina, where she is aiming to fire up crucial black and young voters to back her bid to become America's first woman commander-in-chief. Amid media reports of turmoil in his camp over the way Harris succeeded in goading him at the debate, the 78-year-old former president is due on stage in Tucson, Arizona to focus on our struggling economy. Arizona was one of the most bitterly fought states in the 2020 election, with Joe Biden winning there by around 10,000 votes against Trump, and promises to be closely contested again. Their return to the swing states at the heart of the election came a day after a brief truce when they attended Wednesday's anniversary of the 9/11 attacks in New York. Missed opportunity. The debate in Philadelphia was a welcome boost for Harris as the honeymoon from her sudden replacement of the aging Biden as Democratic candidate seemed to be wearing off. Trump insisted it was one of his best debates, but snap polls and even allies disagreed as Harris riled him up with taunts about crowd sizes and his 2020 election loss, then scored points on issues like abortion. Close Trump ally Senator Lindsey Graham told reporters afterwards that it was a missed opportunity, while U.S. media reported there was discontent among Trump donors. Related news. Photos. Harris, Trump attend 9/11 memorial after brutal debate. After fiery debate, Harris and Trump attend 9/11 memorial. Trump claims U.S. debate unfair, rigged against him. But while Harris has erased the lead Trump held in polls, the candidates remain neck and neck, and she insists she is the underdog in the White House race. And America's deeply polarized politics mean, however, that big showpiece events like debates rarely move the polls that much, even if it was a disastrous debate against Trump that forced Biden to drop his re-election bid. Both candidates will keep bashing the battlegrounds in coming days, knowing a few thousand undecided votes in the northeastern Rust Belt and the booming southern Sun Belt could decide everything. Harris returns to Pennsylvania, the most crucial and bitterly fought of all the swing states, on Friday for campaign events in Johnstown and Wilkes-Barre before attending an awards dinner Saturday with second gentleman Doug Emhoff. Trump will deliver remarks in Las Vegas on Friday on the cost of living, as he targets Nevada, yet another key swing state. He is also due to give a press conference in Los Angeles. 1 year after the death of Nigerian rapper, singer and songwriter, late Ilari Olowa, popular as Mohbad, a social media critic, Mr. Ibrahim Koleosho, has appealed to online bloggers profiting from the fracas within the Aloba family to desist from disrespecting the soul of the late singer. Koleosho, while announcing the activities of programs scheduled for the 1-year remembrance of the late singer, said in a statement that the best that could be done to the soul of the late singer is to lay him to rest. Koleosho, while announcing the activities of programs scheduled for the one-year remembrance of the late singer, said in a statement that the best that could be done to the soul of the late singer is to lay him to rest. Let Mobad's soul rest, social media critic tells bloggers. Let Mobad's soul rest, social media critic tells bloggers. Begs Gov Sanwo-Olu to intervene in family fracas. 1 year after the death of Nigerian rapper, singer and songwriter, late Ilari Olowa, popular as Mobad, a social media critic, Mr. Ibrahim Koliosho, has appealed to online bloggers profiting from the fracas within the Oloba family to desist from disrespecting the soul of the late singer. Koliosho, while announcing the activities of programs scheduled for the one-year remembrance of the late singer, said in a statement that the best that could be done to the soul of the late singer is to lay him to rest. He urged Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State to intervene in the prolonged fracas between the deceased father, Joseph, mother, Abosed and the wife, Wunmi, saying that could go a long way in getting justice for the soul of the late singer. He said, "We celebrate the life of the late Ilari Olowa, Mobad. It is exactly 1 year today that we lost him. The circumstances surrounding his death remain a sad reminder of how life is ephemeral. And it is very sad that the soul of such a talent is still in the morgue, a year after his controversial death. As we celebrate his death, we seek justice to the soul of Mobad. We also seek peace within the family. As far as I am concerned, nobody is a winner until Mobad's body is laid to rest. That is the most important thing that could be done to his soul. Governor Sanwo-Olu should help set up a reconciliation committee that would ensure peace within the Oloba family. Those profiting from the crisis within the deceased family should stop disrespecting the soul of the late singer." More importantly, the Lagos State House of Assembly had once promised to look into the late singer's musical deals and see how his royalties be paid to the family.